Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today, we're taking a look at the Big Bad Workshop and Fresh Monkey Fiction Operation Monster Force Chatsworth. I'm not super familiar with anything from Operation Monster Force. This is the first figure I have ever gotten from them. I saw Chatsworth a few months ago and thought he looked really, really cool, so I went ahead and ordered him. And now that I have him in hand, he's a pretty cool figure. He's got a cool concept, and he's actually the first Bigfoot type character that I've ever owned, so I'm excited to kind of go over him with you. He is not perfect, and there is one major problem with him, but we'll go over that more when we get into the nitty gritty of him. But as far as backstory, I guess, Big Bad Workshop and Fresh Monkey Fiction have kind of got this whole little universe that they've been working on, and I honestly don't know too much about it. I tried to read a little bit about this character so I could talk intelligently about him to you guys, and basically the gist I'm getting is this is kind of a Harry and the Hendersons meets Rambo kind of deal with this guy, and honestly, I think that's kind of cool. So let's get right into him, starting with the package. I absolutely love the package. This is how packaging should look. Nice gigantic window showing us everything that's going on inside, tells us who it's from down here. I love this background. When you remove all the innards of the package, you get to see that. That looks pretty darn cool. Doesn't really have anything on the side. And on the back, instead of like figure images, it's kind of like a comic book panel or whatever. And I guess that's pretty cool. And it says some stuff right here about Red Moon Requiem right there if you want to pause the video and read it. But so far, so good as far as packaging. I really, really like that. But let's get Chatsworth down here because he is a big guy. He's kind of heavy. And let's see how tall he is. To the top of his head, he is exactly 8 inches tall, which would make the figure 20 centimeters. I'm 99.9% sure that this is supposed to be 112. I'll have to check in the background. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll say it down below if it is or isn't. But anyways, let's stand him next to some other figures and see how he scales up. And first up, here he is with the SH Figuarts Full Power Broly and the Marvel Legends Red Hulk. And as you can see, hairline to hairline, him and Broly are about the same height. And it looks like the Marvel Legends Red Hulk has a little bit of height on him. But I wanted to give you an idea of how he looks with bigger characters, and I think it looks good so far. And here he is with a couple of average sized characters with the Storm Arena Ryu and the Demoniacal Fit Goku right there. And I think that's about right. He's a Sasquatch, so he's going to be pretty big, so he's not quite as tall as the Hulk, and he's about the same size as Broly, and I can live with it. Now, for aesthetic, I like the overall look of this figure. I can't lie and say that I don't. There is a nice matte type of finish. It's semi-satin, but I'm going to go ahead and call it matte for all the fur, and it looks really good. There is some dry brush all over all the fur, and it just really gives the sculpt a nice complexity and depth. It looks really, really good. There may even be a little bit of wash in there, or it just could be the way my lights are casting kind of shadows down in there. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say there's a little bit of wash in there because the fur looks really good. The sculpt in it, like I said, is really nice, and that dry brush really adds a nice layer to it. I like the faces. There's 3 of them, and we'll look at the other 2 more here in a minute, but this one right here that comes on him in the package looks really good. The tongue and the teeth look great right around the eyes. He has like kind of human looking eyes, and I really like that with that big kind of Neanderthal, slash Bigfoot brow. Looks really, really good. I like the kind of the exposed, belly and chest right here. Nice matte finish on that. Nice airbrushing, shading through it. Looks really, really good. The hands, nice and big and look good. The sculpt and paint on them are fantastic, and they even put a lot of detail into the fingernails and stuff of it. I absolutely love it. Even the palms, they paid attention to that, put some sculpt and shading and stuff in the palms. It looks really, really nice. I like the shape of his musculature for the most part. The delts look good. The arms look nice. Nice long forearms. It looks really good. Nice big traps. His back looks pretty good. His back could almost be bigger, but that works right there for, for what we're looking for. It looks nice. I like the legs a little bit. I like his feet. His feet could be a little bit bigger since he is a Bigfoot, figure, but he still looks good. The toenails look really good, and the same amount or level, I should say, of detail and paint went into the feet that went into the hands. So I like it a lot. Even the bottoms of the feet, they paid attention to that. So As far as all that is concerned, they did a really good job. This is my first outing with Fresh Monkey Fiction and any of their products. And hey, somebody shout out to them and tell them to send me some more stuff. I would be happy to review it because so far, so good. Now, let's talk about a couple of detractors from the aesthetic. And it has to do with the head. And this gapping that we're getting right around here, around all the fur coming off the head and the back of the head, it gives us some gap. Maybe just another layer, something to lay over top of the neck to kind of hide that kind of float, I'm talking about, would probably hide that a little bit better. But I know that they wanted it to be able to move really good, which it does, and we'll cover that more here in a little bit. And also, whoa, that was another huge problem that I wanted to wait for a while to cover, but we'll go ahead and cover it now. His goddamn arm falls off a lot. Fuck. We'll cover that more here in a minute. Let's pretend that didn't happen, and we'll cover it more here in a minute. But back to my complaint about the aesthetic. The wrists down here, the way the fur, I know why they left, they sculpted that space there, and that's for the hand to move around. But the way it's sculpted, it looks like a sleeve. It just looks like a sleeve or of a shirt that the figure is wearing. And it takes me out of it ever so slightly as far as, just glancing at it and going, oh, that looks cool. But it's not that big a deal, but I did want to point it out. And we got the same concept going on down here at the bottom, of the leg. Again, not like deal breakers, but, I'm not an engineer, but I think they could have come up with something a little bit better than that, because this is not a cheap figure, so they could have put a little bit more effort than that into it. But other than that, this figure does look good. Now for accessories, he comes with all kinds of really nice looking stuff. He comes with 3 fantastic looking head sculpts. He comes with an open mouth yelling face where he's got a bandana on his head on him in the package, and it looks fantastic. And he also comes with 2 other heads that don't have a bandana. He comes with one where he's just kind of grinning and looking off in the distance, and it looks really, really good. And he's got a teeth gritting head that looks fantastic as well. He comes with 4 different hands. He comes with 2 gripping hands for his accessories on him in the package. And he comes with 2 other kind of more open, relaxed kind of gripping hands, and they look fantastic as well. He also comes with a little stand that I'll show you right here that says Chatsworth on the front right there, and it says Operation Monster Force, and it's actually sculpted and done pretty well. I like that a lot. He also comes with 4 of these little donuts, a couple of white ones and pink ones right here, and he comes with one that even has like a bite out of it, so that's kind of neat. I don't know how functional that is, but it's pretty cool. He comes with all kinds of weaponry though. He comes with tons of bullets. He comes with this little thing right here that is supposed to be like a string of shells for his little automatic weapon that we'll look at here in a minute. It's done really well. Nice flexible plastic. As you can see, he gets 2 strings of it. It looks really great. He comes with 2 little strings of bullets that go around his chest like Rambo, and it is painted and done very, very nicely. He's got a thing of bullets right here that you can stick on the outside of his gun that looks like shells flying out of it, and that is done really awesome. He's got a really cool little fire, like bullet effect kind of coming out of the front of his weapon here that looks really nice as well. And here is his machine gun. This thing is awesome. There's awesome dry brush and nice detail and paint, where the triggers and stuff would be. This thing is really, really cool, and it looks awesome when you take the little fire effect and stick it on the end there. That looks super duper cool. So overall, his accessories are thumbs up awesome. Now for articulation, this guy moves pretty good as well. Let's just start with his head. He's got a neck joint underneath here as well that we'll cover here in a minute, but it looks down pretty good. He can look up pretty good, and you can get plenty of nuance and stuff like that. And when we pop the head off here, we will see that they put him on a nice double ball peg. So good job, Big Bad Workshop and Fresh Monkey Fiction. That is very nice. The peg itself maybe could be a little bit longer. The way they've sculpted the head, when it sits down on that, you kind of just get some rocker. It just kind of pivots around on that. And that's just because it's kind of basically just a big shell that you're sitting down there on top of it. The neck right here, it is on its own ball peg, so it can move around really, really nicely. I like it. I think if maybe they shaped the head just a little bit differently, you'd actually get a little bit more movement out of it. But I think what this is right here, and he's kind of meant to have those ammo those ammo belts or whatever around his chest. So maybe that's kind of why they weren't that worried about it or whatever. But I think this will work for what it is. Shoulders. I've already shown you earlier in the video, his arm comes off.
Jesus Christ.
That's a thing. Let's move past that, because hopefully that might just be my figure. Let's hope that's not a systemic thing. But let's look at what this arm can do. Out to 90 with no problem. Of course, it's got a full 360 without a big deal. He's got a butterfly in there that's actually shaped pretty good. It's not going to bring the arm across him in any kind of effective manner. Is definitely not going to be doing any like Goku Kamehameha type blast. So honestly, I think they could have maybe just done without it, because it doesn't really give you anything. So they had a good idea. It just wasn't executed, or they just didn't really care. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the company. Bicep swivel that is there, and it's technically not a bicep swivel because this is a floating bicep right here. The bicep will move independently, a lot like the way they do Incredible Hulk figures, and that's fine. We've got a single jointed elbow right here that we are not going to get much range out of. That's going to be less than 90 degrees. That is a thing. So if that bothers you, now you know. And you get your little swivel right there, your bicep swivel kind of look from the elbow right there. Now the wrists are a giant ball hinge, and that's where all your movement is going to come from. And again, how I spoke earlier about how they left all that room around at the bottom of that fur on the wrist, that's why. But it does work really, really well. You get your rotation and all that good stuff, and you can manipulate his hand however you want. Now, right here in the abdominal break, he has a double ball peg in there, and you get plenty of lean back. The look you get, a little bit of pregnancy and weirdness going on, but not that big a deal. The sculpt is kind of continued underneath and kind of not. If you don't want that look, just don't lean him back that far. And he will crunch forward a little bit. It definitely goes back further than it does forward. You get side to side and twist and all that out of it. There is a ball peg in the waist down here that you get a little bit more out of, and definitely more twist and stuff. So when you use them together, you can pretty much do what you want with him. This belt is floaty. I don't even know if you could get it off unless you popped one of the legs off to take him off, but to take it off. But I don't know why you'd want to. The belt actually looks pretty good. Now, as far as his legs, side split, pretty darn good for a Bigfoot. That's not too bad. I'll take it. The legs are on drop downs. I'm not the biggest fan of drop downs because you get that kind of crap right there, but it is a thing. And the front kick is pretty good. It's past the waist, so that's impressive. This is hard plastic right here, so the leg doesn't really kick back much, but that's not that big of a deal. Thigh swivel is kind of built in up here, and it's mostly just movement around on that ball peg that's in there. Again, single jointed knee for the knee, so you're going to get not even 90 degrees out of it, but you do get some swivel, so you can be able to pose a little bit there, and it doesn't look too bad, to be quite honest with you, so that doesn't bother me. Now, the ankles do kind of suck because you can't really move them down. You get that right there, and then that right there. Not much of anything, and they're the same concept. Big ball hinge up in there, just like the wrist. And again, same concept of long fur, leaving a lot of space right there. You do get a little bit of rocker to the side, to the inside, and to the outside, but not that much. He also has a toe brake that is pinless, so it'll go up like that, and it'll go down kind of like the Jada Sagat. It's pretty tight. It would actually probably hold the weight of this figure, so it's not that bad. Maybe little too far back in the foot, but not that huge of a deal. Does have a peg hole in the bottom of the foot, and the bottom of the foot does look good. So other than mine's arm falling off, which I hope is literally just indicative of my figure, overall the articulation isn't bad, other than I don't know why they wasted their time with the butterfly. Okay, final thoughts on the Operation Monster Force Chatsworth here. Overall, this is a pretty good figure. There's a little bit of aesthetic things they could have done to maybe do a little bit, handle a little bit of the gapping, I should say, but the paint and sculpt is fantastic. I love the faces. I love the accessories. They are very cool. His articulation is pretty good, other than the fact that mine's left arm falls off, but I'm hoping that is isolated to mine, and that is not a release-wide QC issue. Overall, I would have to give this figure, if I'm ignoring mine's arm falling off, I would give this figure a B-, a very solid solid release. Definitely room for improvement in areas, particularly in the price. He's $80 freaking dollars. I think at $50, $55, maybe $60 for this would be a little bit better for everybody. But, he's a solid release for sure. I don't know if I'll ever buy any other Operation Monster Force stuff, unless, Fresh Monkey Fiction wants to reach out to me. Wink, wink. But anyways, that's all I've got for Chatsworth. Like, subscribe, comment. This has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.